हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे जय गंधर्विका गिरिधारी गौर हरि जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत दे लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत दे जय गौरनिका जय गौरनिका जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। कं करोति वाचालं पल्लं लङ्घयति। Hare Krishna. So welcome to our Sunday program. So we are discussing about the Navadha Bhakti. So as the Navadha Bhakti means, how many limbs are there? 9. Very simple. Navadha Bhakti. So what are those Navadha Bhaktis? And we should have some reference. So where does it come from? Where does it come from? We should have some shastric scriptural reference. Where is it mentioned that when we engage in a devotional service, there are 9 different ways that one can engage? Because now if somebody says that engage in a devotional service, the purpose of the human form of life is survive. Krishna's 1.2.6 Savai Pumsa Paro Dharmo Yathor Bhakti Adoksaje Ahituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasiddhati. The purpose of the human form of life to engage into the devotional service unto Lord Sri Krishna. There is no other purpose of the human form of life. We may have some temporary purposes in this material life, but there is a Paro Dharma. So there is a Dharma which is related to our body and all those things, but there is a Paradharma. Paradharma means the supreme Dharma. The supreme Dharma of all the living entities is Savai Pumsa Paro Dharma Yathor Bhakti Adoksaje. So one should engage into the devotional service unto Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Now the question will come, how do I engage into devotional service? Right? And that is where these 9 limbs are mentioned. So I was just asking that, where is the reference? Where is it coming from that one has to engage into 9 devotional service? Huh? Srimad Bhagavatam. Very good. So Prabhu said Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, where? How many cantos? Last time we discussed about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Do you remember that? So Srimad Bhagavatam has how many skandhas or cantos? 12 cantos. So you have, and how many shlokas we have? 18,000. Now one of the 18,000 shlokas is this. But where exactly this shloka comes? It comes in a... Yes. Yes, both of you are right. In 7th canto, chapter number 5, shloka number 23 and 24, where Prahlad Maharaj is answering that how one can engage in a devotional service. When his father Hiranyakashipu asked, Beta, now we are going to the school, what did you learn from there? Did you learn something about mathematics, physics, chemistry, political science, and history, geography? No, he said that I did not learn that. But what I learned is this is the shloka. So, somebody want to recite that shloka? We have microphone, bro. Sri Prahlada Uvacha.
Shravanam Kirtam Vishnu Smaranam Pad Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam Iti
Pumsarpita Vishnu.
Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhakti Strain Nava
Lakshana. How many Lakshanas? Nava Lakshana.
Kriyata Bhagavati Adha Tan Manye Dhitam
Uttamam. Such a person is a Uttamam. He is an intelligent person. Who is the intelligent person? Who knows Java, who knows Python, who knows machine learning, artificial. No, Bhagavatam does not talk about that. That may help us to get some money, and of course we need that, so we are not demeaning that. But the ultimate is the person who is a Sumedasa, Ejante hi Sumedasa. The intelligent person is the one who engaged in the devotional service unto Lord Sri Krishna in these 9 methods. And what are those 9 methods? Sravanam means hearing. Kirtanam, chanting. Then Vishnu Smaranam, very specifically, not to give any ambiguities or any rooms for speculation. Smaranam, kiska? Vishnu Smaranam. Next, Pada Sevanam. Pada Sevanam means Pada ante. Pad means serving the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. Pada Sevanam. Next, Archanam. DT worship. Just now we had DT worship. Archanam. Vandanam. Offering Vandanam. Namaskar. Obeisances. Dasham. Engaging in the mood of servant. And then Sakhyam. Engaging in the devotional service of Lord Sri Krishna as a friend. And the last but not the least is Atma Nivedanam, where one surrenders completely himself to the service of Lord Sri Krishna. And Acharya gives for each of these devotional service one example from our previous, from the scriptures or from the devotees. So who is the example for Sravanam? So out of these 9, even if one engages in any one of these devotional services, one can perfect his life. So who are the examples of these 9 methods where devotees in the past, where they utilized this one of these 9 methods and they perfected their life, starting from the Sravanam. Parikshit Maharaj, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. So Sukadeva Goswami is another example of Kirtanam. Sravanam, Kirtanam. Vishnu Smaranam. Prahlad Maharaj. Vishnu Smaranam. Pada Sevanam. Lakshmi Devi. Archanam. Archanam. Yes, Prutu Maharaj, very good. Vandanam. Akrur Maharaj, when he goes to Vrindavan to take Krishna, Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Balaram to the Mathura, and then on the way that actually he goes to the place where there is a lake, and then he remembers Krishna, Smaranam. And this is the topic of today's topic, Vishnu Smaranam. Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam. Okay, so actually that's Vandanam, not the Smaranam. Vandanam. So Dasyam, Sakhyam, and Atma Nivedanam. Bali Maharaj. So, in this age of Kali, though that practically, theoretically, one can actually take one of these 9 methods and we can perfect our life. However, for all of us in this age of Kali, it may not be possible to engage in any one of these methods. And that is why what we have to do? Any one of these methods should be accompanied always by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Kirtanam or chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And that is where one Srila Prabhupada was there in his quarter, and one devotee said that, Swamiji, can I chant 64 rounds every day? Swamiji said, it's not possible. It is not possible, because in this age of Kali, for all of us, if you just say that you do same thing from morning to evening and every day, every week, month after month and year after year, it's very difficult. So that is why, if you see, our Srila Prabhupada has beautifully designed this morning program such a way that we cover many of the things. So in this age of Kali, practically, theoretically, it is possible that one can take perfect his life by just utilizing one of these. But in this age of Kali, it is recommended for all of us that one must accompany any one of these by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So chanting of Hare, Srila Prabhupada says that our all progress depends upon chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Where are the other references where it is mentioned that one should engage into Navadha Bhakti? So this is coming from Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante Leela, where it is mentioned, Bhajaner Madhya Shrestha Navadha Bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna Dite Dhare Maha Shakti. Translation?
Among the ways of executing devotional service, the 9 prescribed methods are the best for the best, for these processes have great potency to deliver Krishna and ecstatic love for him.
So if we engages into this one of this 9 method, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, informs and gives us a promise for all of us that if we engage in any one of this method, what will happen at the end? What we will get? Krishna Prema Krishna. So, will be the potency to deliver Krishna and ecstatic love for Krishna is that Navadha Bhakti can do. So, if you can see second line in that, Krishna Prema Krishna Dite Dhare Mahashakti. So, it has a potency to deliver Krishna and Krishna Prema. So, if we engage into this Navadha Bhakti, Sreshta, Bhajanera Madhya, among all the bhajans, the different methods of the bhajans, if we engage into this Navadha Bhakti, which is called as the Sreshta Navadha Bhakti. One of the Acharyas, Govinda Das Kaviraj, also sings that Bhaja Hure Mana Sri Nanda Nandana. You know this bhajan? If you see the last song, Sravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasare Pujana Sakhi Jana Atma Nivedana Govinda Dasa Bhilasare Bhajahure Mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Krishna Govinda Das Kaviraj saying that he is also mentioning the same thing. Sarvanam Kirtanam Smaranam Vandanam Pada Sevanam Dasyam Sakyam Puja Atma Nivedam Govinda Das Abhilashare. Govinda Das is the desire that one can engage into devotional service of this. All of you are coming freshly from the Mayapur Yatra, and Mayapur Yatra, this Navadvip Dham is envisioned just like a lotus, and the center of that lotus, the core, is that where Antardvip, where the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and surrounding that there are the Navadvipas, and each one of them represents again this Navadha Bhaktis. So just for your reference. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj. Who is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj? Prabhupada's spiritual master. If you see on the altar, if you see Guru Parampara, second from the left is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So once during the Siksha, so there is a one Siksha level called as Srila Prabhupada Ashray. And in Srila Prabhupada Ashray, we are asking, the question was asked to the participant that can you identify the personalities on the altar? And he failed to do that. So we have to remind ourselves who are those personalities on the altar, especially the Guru Parampara. You know who all are there in the Guru Parampara? Starting from Srila Prabhupada, left side, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Guru, Gaur Kishor Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who is the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj. This is the fourth one. Jagannath Das Babaji was the one who came and confirmed, yes, this is the place of birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in case if you come to the level of Srila Prabhupada Ashray and if you are asked the question, then you can pass this. And then now you are coming from Panchatattva, Mayapur, right? Huge deities of Panchatattva. How many of you went to Mayapur Yatra? Okay, not this time. Previously, okay. Any time, not necessary April 26 onwards, but yeah, okay. So now in Panchatattva, so who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who is Nityananda Mahaprabhu? I mean, sorry, my question is that now you have the Panchatattva deities or the photos are there. So how do you know which is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and which is Lord Nityananda Mahaprabhu? Okay, now in the photos is the center one is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Suppose you have deities, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Mahaprabhu, and Gaur Purnima you are doing Abhishekam, and while doing Abhishekam, now you got jumbled, and this happened once, so that's why I am telling. Now you got a problem. Who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who is Nityananda Prabhu? So how will you identify who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who is Nityananda? Now in the photo, he is the center. And when you got from the altar, okay, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when you are facing, is on the right side, and on your left is Nityananda Mahaprabhu. It's very clear. Now somebody in the process of doing that, and the deities were gone for the dress change, and they came back. Now it got jumbled. Now the question is, who is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How do you identify? Okay, very good. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's left leg is forward, and Nityananda Mahaprabhu's right leg is forward. So you can afterwards, Prabhu is trying. So you go closer and then see that whether this is the right one. Okay, and then our Srila Prabhupada. So coming back quickly. So then of course, so next, who is there? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now you got center one. Then who is on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's right hand side? Nityananda Mahaprabhu. So further right side, the rightmost, Advaita Acharya. And if you see, the Advaita Acharya has the long beard, so you can definitely identify. And then next to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's left hand side, Gadadhar Pandit. And then leftmost is, okay. So these two questions are clear today, at least. If you are in Srila Prabhupada Ashraya, these questions will be clear. So our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada has devised this morning program such a way that you will be able to cover all these 9 methods. You know how will you cover all these 9 methods? You have to come early morning for Mangal Arati program. And you know what time Mangal Arati starts? 4:30 a.m. Very early. So if you are getting up 8, 9 or something, then it may be difficult. But try sometimes to come to Mangal Arati. And if not, here to our Narsimha Giridhari Mandir or to our Bhakti Center ACS. So hearing. So how Srila Prabhupada had put this hearing in our morning program. Bhagavatam class. Perfect. Then chanting. 16 rounds. How many rounds? 16 rounds. Remembering. Okay, when you are doing, you are remembering. When you are chanting, you are remembering. You are doing DT worship, you are remembering. Yes, Smaret Pundarikaksham Sabhahyat Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu. So there, when you are doing the Achman, you are remembering Krishna. DT worship, of course, we have that. And praying. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a prayer. It's a call to Lord Sri Krishna. Dasyam. How do you do Dasyam? Serving devotees, serving Krishna. Serving as a friend, Sakhyam. Preaching. Arjun did that. So preaching and then complete surrender, Atmanyudan. Surrender body, mind and all that. So Prabhupada very beautiful. You can see at least few of the atoms are covered there. So today we are going to discuss about the Smaranam, remembrance. So remembrance means to bring our mind or think of again. Remember. So mind goes somewhere, but bring to that particular object, particular personality where we focus our mind. Remember. So you again bring that. So we saw that the example of that is Prahlad Maharaj. Now, where in scripture it is mentioned that we have to remember. So of course we saw Bhagavatam. Now we will see this. This is mentioned in Padma Puran, if I remember correctly, or Vishnu Puran, sorry. So, Padma Puran. Smartavyam satatam Vishnur, vismartavyam na jatuchit, sarve vidhi nishedha sure, yeto er eva kinkaram. Kinkaram means servant. So all the rules, vidhi and nishedha, are the servant of the two principles. And the two important principles are that Smartavyam Satatam Vishnu. Meaning Smartavyam. Satatam, always Vishnu. Remember Vishnu when? Only on Sunday 5 o'clock. Always Satatam. And Vismartavyam na jatuchit. Never forget. So all the rules and regulations that we are doing in our life, that should serve this purpose. Kinkaram, all the rules and regulations, they are the servant of these two fundamental principles under which all the rules and regulation lies. And this is Satatam Smartavyam Satatam Vishnur Vismartavyam na Jatuchit. In Bhagavad Gita, where or which sloka talks about Smartavyam, very specific remembrance. Very good. मनमना भव मद भक्तो मद्दाजी माम नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यस्य युक्तयो आत्मानां मत परायणम स्मरणम. Okay, thinking, okay, but the word Smaranam, I was looking for Smaranam, but yes, Manmana is that. Prabhu said Mam Anusmaram Yuddhacha. Perfect. 8.7. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmaram Yuddhacha Maya Arpita Mano Buddhi Mame Vaisesi Samshaya. Tasmat, therefore, it is a conclusion of the previous section. Sarveshu Kaleshu. Sarveshu means all the time. Kaleshu means time. Sarveshu Kaleshu. Mama Anusmaran. You remember me, and then what you do? Yuddhacha, you fight it. By doing this, Maya Arpita Mana and Buddhi, by offering your mind and intelligence, you will definitely come to me without any doubt. Asamshaya, there is no question. And this is what Lord Krishna is saying. So, very clearly here it is said that what we have to do? Smaranam. So, it is recommended when you are doing some of us or many of us or most of us might be working, going to the office. Some of them may be student, or some of them may be those who are fortunate, they might be the full time remembering of Krishna. So for all of us, when somebody is saying that I am going to the office and doing my duties, am I supposed to remember Krishna or no? Yes or no? Yes. How? This is what Lord Krishna instruct Arjuna, you fight it, but while fighting you remember me. So of course, for all of us, when we need not to go to the battlefield and fight there, but our battlefield could be somewhere else, sitting in IC and fighting with some EC, not IC, EC, and then fighting with something. So that is our yuddha. But while doing that yuddha, what we have to do? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmaram yuddhacha. What about Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam, just now we are studying Bhakti Vaibhav in the second canto. Tasmat sarvatmana rajan hari sarvatra sarvada srotavya kirtitavya smartavya bhagavan runam. So what Sukadev Goswami is actually telling to Parikshit Maharaj, sadhana bhakti is practiced by tasmat. Again, tasmat means therefore. Conclusion. Sarvatma rajan hari. O rajan, hari sarvatra sarvada. Hari sarvatra sarvada srotavya. Here kirtitavyascha smartavya bhagavan runam. Can you read the translation? Give to Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. O King, it is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere.
Where?
Always and everywhere.
Hari sarvatra sarvada. All the time and all the places. Not only this or that, not only on particular day or night. Sarvatra sarvada hari. Tasmat sarvatmana rajan hari sarvatra sarvada srotavya kirtitavyascha smartavya bhagavan runam. In Nectar of Instruction, if you have done Bhakti Shastri, Mataji, you know I finished? Sloka number 8. It is again talking about remembering about Krishna. Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu, we will discuss about NOD, where again it is talking about Krishnam Smaranam. So, all these are actually talking about remembrance of Krishna. So, what we are discussing is that where in scripture there is a direct instruction for all of us that one we have to remember Krishna. Now we have seen Tasmat Sarvatra, all the time, Sarvatra Sarvadaha Hari, all the time and all the places we have to remember Krishna. And now, what would happen when we remember Krishna, when we serve Krishna, when we Smaranam Krishna? So there is a sloka from Bhagavatam towards the end of the, almost end of the 12th canto, which is very wonderful here. Avismruti Krishna Padar Vindayo Kshinotte Abhadrani cha tanoti Satvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim Jnanam cha Vijnanam Viragya Yuktam. So, if you remember Krishna, the lotus feet of Krishna, there are 7 benefits. And what are those 7 benefits? The first benefit is Kshinoti Abhadrani. Kshinoti Abhadrani means Kshine Punne Marte Loka Vishanti. So when you finish all the credit, pious credit, you come back again to this Martya Loka. So similarly, Kshinoti Abhadrani. So when you remember Krishna, Smaranam, what happens? Abhadrani, all inauspicious things are removed. Next, what happens? Shetanoti. Shetanoti means award the good fortune. So now Abhadragaya means automatically will get the sorry. Award the great good fortune. Satvasya Shuddhim. Satvasya Shuddhim means purify our existence, purify the heart. And then Paramatma Bhaktim. Paramatma Bhaktim, it awards bhakti. And the next 3 are Jnanam cha, Vijnanam cha, Viragya. So what are the other 3 things? Jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. Again, knowledge not about mundane topics but about Lord Sri Krishna. Next is Vijnana, realization, and Vairagya. So when we renunciation, so when we do all, when we Vismrutim Krishna Padara Vindayo Kshinoti Abhadrani cha tanoti Satvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim Jnanam cha Vijnanam Viraga Yuktam. So all the 7 things happen. So what are the 7 things? Sanskrit. Kshinoti Abhadrani cha Sham tanoti. Very good. Satvasya Shuddhim Paramatma Bhaktim, devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Paramatma Bhakti, and last 3 are simple. Very good. Nice. So if there is a quiz at the end of the class, so what are the 7 benefits of remembering Krishna? So we should be able to tell all the 7 things. So if we engage or remember Krishna, the 7 benefits will be based on the person or sadhaka who is remembering Krishna. Now there is one more very beautiful shloka in Bhagavad Gita which actually talks, which is the essence of everything. The whole purpose of all of our life is like a preparation, and the examination is like a death. And there we are supposed to do something. What is that we are supposed to do? अंतकाले च मामेवा स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं ये प्रयाति समद्भावं याति अस्ति न अत्र संशया. Again Krishna is saying there is no, absolutely no doubt. When Krishna is saying there is no doubt. What? Antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaran. If you remember me at the time of death, you will surely come to me. There is no doubt about that. And that is Lord Krishna's promise. Is there any, but very similar shloka comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, exactly Antakalecha, but it has a little different things, which is Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinistaya Janmalabha Param Pumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. So what is the thing here talking about? Just like Antakalecha Mam Eva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram, here Srimad Bhagavatam again 2nd canto, very first sloka, Sukadeva Goswami begins to speak, and in the very first sloka, in the first chapter 6 sloka, he is talking about that. What is the purpose of all those things? Ante Narayana Smriti, to remember Narayana at the end of life. Now some intelligent person will think, okay, It's just like an exam, so we can cheat. Somehow you remember Krishna at the end of life, and somehow you do some trick Krishna. But don't forget that in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that I am the cheater of all the cheater, 10.31 or something. Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, you cannot cheat Krishna. So there is one story, probably you would have heard that. There was one businessman, and he said, okay, now I will do throughout my life, but what will I do? I will name my 4 sons. And coincidentally he had 4 sons, and the name of all his 4 sons he put Aniruddha, Vasudev, Pradyumna, Sankarshana, Vasudev, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. So he said, just like Ajamila, he said Narayana, so I will at least not, we have 4, at least I will remember one of these 4. So then he was engaging nicely in his business things and all things, and at the end of life he was on his deathbed. And all the 4 of them, Sankarshan, Vasudev, Pradyumna and Aniruddha, came running to that businessman and said, wow, now where is my father is now at the end of his life, and he will Anta Kalecha Mamiva Smaran Mukta, or Ante Narayana Smruti, he will have remembrance of Krishna or Narayana at the end of life. And this businessman, now if you throughout the life you are talking only about business, money, and what will you remember at the end of life? Only money, not Krishna. So then he said, oh Aniruddha, Pradyumna, Vasudeva and Sankarshana, you all came here, but who is there in our shop? And then he left his body. So you remember only shop, and then so you cannot cheat Krishna. So we have to practice throughout our life to remember Krishna. Then only at the end of life you will able to. Yes, Mohan Prabhu. Yes, right. Then only we can remember Krishna. Otherwise it is not possible to remember Krishna. We do not even know in what state we will be leaving the body. Whether we will remember Krishna, it is बहुत दूर की बात है. But what state, whether we will be conscious or unconsciousness, somebody comes and knocks us down, that's all gone, end of life, story khatam. So what will you do? So how will you remember Krishna? So we have to practice, not to scare you, but the purpose of the whole life is that Ante Narayana Smriti. So we have to practice that. We have to cultivate. It's like the year is for studying, and then at the end of year we have examination. So life is preparation and death is examination. So if we don't practice throughout our life, and then at the end it's very difficult, forget about the life after 50 years or 60 years. So there was one person, he said, he was about, elderly person, he said, Prabhu, just give me some time, now I am 58, 59, I will retire, and you see that how I can engage into devotional service very nicely. So after 1 month of retirement or 2 months of retirement, and just have a call, Prabhu, just now retired, thoda sa time dijiye, give me some more time, so that and then after 1 year he is so busy again. So you cannot, just when the stick is actually wet you can give a shave, but when the stick is actually dry and if you try to give a shave, it will actually break. So if you have to cultivate habit, Prahlad Maharaj said that we should cultivate habit from the Kaumarat Acharate Pragya, from the as early as one is 5 years old. Now for all of us may not that have opportunity when we were 5 years, whenever we start, whatever it could be, 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever could be the opportunity, but please begin that practicing devotional service unto Lord Sri Krishna. But then if we are not able to remember Krishna at the time of death, 549, when was the question? If you are not able to remember Krishna, then what Krishna says that whatever bhav that you will be able to remember, definitely you will attain that. Vapi Smaran bhava taje ante kale varam tam tamevete kaunte sada tad bhava bhavita. Definitely, if you are not able to remember Sankarshan, Vasudev, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, if you remember shop, you will definitely attain the shop. You may become cockroach, whatever, rat, cat, bit, whatever is that, possibly you will attain that and you will be in that shop. So Krishna is saying that he is giving us opportunity. Remember Krishna or remember me. If not, then you have option. So when Krishna gives, he tells both the sides of the coin. Either you remember me, or if you are not able to remember, then definitely you will attain whatever the things that you will actually remember at the time of death. And what defines that we will remember at the time of death? What we have practiced throughout our life. Now the question is that how can we remember something? Now our topic is about Smaranam. So now we discuss about Smaranam, where it mentioned in Smaranam about different scriptures. We saw Bhagavatam, we saw Bhagavad Gita, we saw nectar of instruction, we saw nectar of devotion. Then we saw the benefits of remembering from Bhagavatam, the 7 benefits. Then we saw Bhagavad Gita 8.5, where Lord Krishna says that Antakalecha Mam Eva Smaran. If you remember me at the time of death, definitely you will come back to me. And then we saw Ante Narayana Smriti Bhagavatam. You remember Narayana, you are sure you will perfect your life. But if you don't remember Krishna or Narayana, then Yam Vapi Smaran Bhav. Now the next question is that how do we remember Krishna? What will actually help us remembrance Krishna? Let's take some material example. How do you remember some personality that you like or you want to remember him? What do you do? Huh? Serve him, okay. Serve him and then you will remember him, okay. What? So, right, very good. What is that? Read about him. You read about him more and more and more and more. You will actually develop attachment for him. Or in other words, chant his name always. You will definitely, Sravanam will lead to Kirtanam, Kirtanam will lead to Smaranam. Sorry? Features. So focusing, meditating on the features of the Lord. Okay. So in Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada gives a, now for example, let's say Bollywood hero or cricket how do you people keep the photo of that in a hostel room? If you go there, you will see that, right? So why? Because you always see the photo and then it will remember. You talk about that when you go to your friend, you know what, today he made a century. Now you discuss about that. You go to the Times of India and you read about that, or you go to some new channel and all things. So in material life, it's very simple that if you want to remember that person, you talk about that person, you hear about that person, you read about that person, you see the photo of that person, that will lead about the remembrance of that person. The same thing. So where is coming from? It is coming from Lord Sri Krishna. And Prabhupada writes into Nectar of Instruction how to reach a stage of Smaranam. And Prabhupada says Sravana Dasha, the stage of Sravanam. And this is a very beautiful purport, Nectar of Instruction chapter text number 8. And one of the devotees was saying this is one of the topmost purport of Srila Prabhupada, because it gives from the very initial stages of the neophyte stage to the ultimate stage of Samadhi. So the first stage is Sravanam Dasha. Dasha means stage. Sravanam Dasha. That means Prabhupada says that in the neophyte stage one should always engaging in hearing Krishna Katha. So when we go on the road or whenever any new person comes, we say that you discuss about Krishna, you hear about Krishna Katha, right? There is no harm. Immediately we give Krishna book, right? So that they can hear Krishna. So when we hear about that for a continuous some time, then we come to the next stage of Varna Dasha. Varna Dasha means now you have been reading about Krishna for some time. Now you accepted that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and He is the object of my meditation, He is the object of my life, He is the object of my purpose, He is the object of my meditation. Acceptance, that is called as Varna Dasha. And after the Varna Dasha, then next is that Smarana Dasha. So starting from Sravanam, then acceptance, okay, you hear about someone, for example, the same example of material life if we take, if you do not know whom to focus, you just hear about that person, automatically he will become. Once there was a person who came from some Middle East and he absolutely have no idea about what cricket is, and then he joined a college here and then he was staying with his student, and just being Indian student, by default he will talk about cricket, and at the end of his 4 year he became a cricket fan. So this is only about Sravana Dasha, Varna Dasha, and then he will come to Smarana Dasha, Asmaran Avastha. Both are Avastha or Dasha, they are actually the same. This is coming from purport of Nectar of Instruction text 8. Now when one come to the stage of Smaranam, there are 5 levels of Smaranam. How many levels of Smaranam? The first level is just a general Smaranam. The general Smaranam, right? Like for example, if you ask Prabhu, what pastime of Krishna you remember? Just one quick. Putana. Okay, Putana, what Prabhu said. So without any endeavor, without putting any effort, just remember some pastimes. That's a general Smaranam. So it's like, actually these stages coming from Jiva Goswami, and Prabhupada talks about the same stages in NOI text 8 purport. Beautiful purport about that. The first stage is Smaranam. It's like now Jiva Goswami gives a definition, but we will see in our context of material life, how do we understand that. Now when you start that or open the tap, now you are getting one drop of that, and then there is a long gap, and then you get another drop. So what does it mean? So that is nothing but the general Smaran or the first stage. So what does it mean? Exactly. You are hearing but interrupt, not continuously. Sometimes the drop is very small, the gap is longer. The next stage, now you start meditating, thinking about one pastimes. Now next is that you are putting some endeavor, and with that endeavor you are trying to focus on some pastimes, 2 or 3 pastimes. Now you are putting your endeavor, and that is called as a dharana. It is still interrupted. Now the drops are becoming larger and the gap is becoming smaller. So that is called as dharana. You would also see in our Ashtanga Yoga, the last 3 are dharana, dhyana and samadhi. Similarly here dhruva anusmruti is in between, which actually come to the similar point. So now the drop, now you open the tap, initially is very interrupted, one drop, then you go to ground floor and then come, and then you still have the second drop. So that means once you remember in the morning when you chanted Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, throughout the day you completely forgot, and next day only, oh Krishna, I forgot who Krishna is. One devotee was saying that, oh, when I chant Hare Krishna Mantra, sometime I remember, but then throughout, as soon as I go to 9 o'clock Pancha, then I forgot about Krishna. Only next day morning again Krishna. So that is a Smaranam. So you open the tap, you have one drop, and after 24 hours another drop. But in dharana stage, now you have little bit more drop, the gap is smaller, and that is called as dharana. Now the dhyana is, now there is a continuous remembrance, but that is a very thin flow of the water. So that is called as dharana. Now dhyana, where now you are focusing on very specific pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, and you are putting some endeavor, and you are able to remember Krishna for continuous for some time. Of course there are some break as well, but not many breaks, but there is a thin line. So now you are getting the flow of the water, but it's very thin, not very thick. So that is called as dhyana. And then next is dhruva anusmruti. Now that flow becomes very thick, and then there is a very rare break there. There is no disturbance, and that is called as dhruva anusmruti. Dhruva means Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva, determined, very very determined. So now, or very fixed. So now here dhruva anusmruti. Now you are able to remember Krishna continuously, and then there are rarely any break, absolutely no, and very thick also. Initially the flow was very small, now that is a dhyan, but when you come to dhruva anusmruti, the flow become much more stronger, and then there is rarely any break, and the finally that is called as samadhi. And in the samadhi you are completely absorbed on your object of your meditation, and then there is absolutely nothing. And at that point of Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that one understand one's own constitutional position, and one when we come to the samadhi, you get a direct darshan of Lord Sri Krishna, and Krishna calls you with your original spiritual name, and then you get a darshan of Krishna, and that is a samadhi. You are completely fixed in Krishna's meditation, and you are able to remember Krishna and able to have a darshan of Krishna. So what are the 5 stages? Let's have one. Okay, one by one, nearby. Yes, Prabhu. What is the first stage?
Smaranam,
Smaranam. Okay. Prabhu has taken a note, so you can refer.
Dharana,
Dharana,
Dhyan,
Dhyan. Very good. Dhruva Anusmruti.
Samadhi,
You are simple, Prabhu. Samadhi. So you are in Samadhi. Okay. So this is where, if you see, this limb of this Smaranam is the most, the most ignored or unattended, not given much attention. But if you see, the name of our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, that means we have to remember about Krishna. Our name is actually become conscious about Krishna. How can you become conscious unless and until we remember Krishna? So you can see that how important is about this Krishna Smaranam. And then there are also Jiva Goswami talks about, Rupa Goswami actually talks about the Smaranam. So there are, first starts with the Nama, Rupa, Guna and Leela. So when devotees start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, shall I focus on Krishna's name, or some I imagine some Krishna's pastimes or something like this? No. When we begin remembering of Krishna, we have to begin with Nama Smaranam. And once we actually perfect or come to the level of that Nama Smaranam will actually reveal us to the Rupa Smaranam. So then we will able to actually meditate on Krishna's Rupa, and when from Rupa it will take us to the Guna. Guna are nothing but the transcendental qualities of Krishna, and from transcendental qualities of Krishna, then you will able to remember the pastimes of Krishna. So in the beginning, you can remember these pastimes. No, it is not recommended. Initially it is recommended to focus on Nama Smaranam. The question is, and I think we'll end very quickly now, why we are not able to remember Krishna? Now you see that Smaranam, that big small drops and big gap, that is very initial stage. Smaranam, interrupted Smaranam. We have to come to the stage of like a Tailam, right? You go to Ayurveda and the Tailam is coming from that very viscous and very thick and continuous flow of oil. Similarly, we have to remember that. But why we are not able to remember Krishna? What are the challenges do you think that we have? Atyahara. So what does that mean? Kirtaniya Sadhari. If you are not humble and tolerant, you will not able to do that. Na bhaved sevan mukhe hi jivva adau seva swayam eva hi spurte ada. NOD, nectar of devotion. So okay, what are the other things? How do we remember Krishna? Or what are the obstacles? Let's see what Prabhupada actually talks about that. Bhagavad Gita 8.5 purport. Can someone read the purport, the first few lines? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. Bhagavad Gita 8.5.
So Prabhupada is talking about two things. Because of the impure soul, Prabhupada meant is that the soul is that who is conditioned, who is covered by the impurities. And the second thing that we have to practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning. The second paragraph.
When one's mind is polluted, it is very difficult to remember Krishna. And one remembrance of Lord Krishna is hampered, one's life is unproductive. A devotee should always be alert, keeping his mind in a sanguine state, so that he can always remember Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 12.5.
So, what are the obstacles Prabhupada is talking about here? Impure soul, mind is polluted, and it is very difficult when the mind is polluted. It is very difficult to remember Krishna. What mind is polluted in a sense that mind is actually absorbed in the things which are not favorable to Krishna conscious, which are the material things. One may be very absorbed. You see that when we go to the study or hobbies, so absorbed that you completely forget about Krishna. So here Prabhupada is talking about that when one's mind is polluted, it's very difficult to remember Krishna, and when the remembrance of Krishna is hampered, one's life become unproductive. So, if you can see Bhagavad Gita 2.62, Dhyato Vishayanpu Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kama Kamat Krodho Vijat. So when we think of something, then initially you just think some object, then you start meditating on that, then you develop attachment for that, and you want to have that, and if you don't get that, you know what happened next. That so the chain continues. So the mind actually start meditating on something again and again and again, which will lead to that I want to have association of that, which will lead to the Smaranam. This is also in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam we can see the 5th canto 8th chapter of Bharat Maharaj. You know the story of Bharat Maharaj? So Bharat Maharaj, very wonderful devotee on the level of Bhava stage, and he actually renounced everything. You can see the situation that he renounced everything. He renounced his kingdom, he renounced his family, he renounced everything, and finally he goes to the forest and he get attached to the deer. I mean, he renounced everything and he get attached to the deer, and finally what happened? Wapi Smaran Bhava Taze Ante. Whatever the bhav you remember at the time of that, definitely without any doubt, Natra Samshaya, Krishna says there is no doubt, you will definitely become a deer. He became a deer. So now this actually shows that how can we practice our mind so that we can remember Krishna. So the Krishna consciousness, this our Krishna consciousness is actually is a training for all of us, that we remember Krishna at the time of that. Antakalicha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram. So we have to practice Krishna so that we remember Krishna at the time of our death. Now we'll see pastimes of Mother Yashoda. She is actually trying to bind Krishna, and some of the slokas, I mean the slokas and some of the words can actually help us how we can actually come to the stage of remembering Krishna. So you can see here, so when we are engaging in the service of Krishna, evam swage adamani yashoda sandan dhatyapi gopinam susmayanti nam smayanti vismita bhavat smayanti. So when Mother Yashoda was actually trying to bind Krishna, and on a different occasion, different ways she was actually trying to bind Krishna, and the gopis were actually smiling, and Mother Yashoda, she is getting one rope, it is short, she got another rope, she got 1 + 1 2. Now she thought that okay, I will able to bind Krishna. That does not happen, because the material calculation does not work. 1 + 1 is not 2, 1 + 1 is still 0 in the material world without having added Krishna. So then she gets one more rope, untimes, and when Mother Yashoda was actually trying to do all those things, same time the elderly gopis were smiling, and while engaging the service of this like this, Mother Yashoda, what she was doing? Smiling. So when we are engaging in a devotional service of Lord Sri Krishna, one should be smiling. Otherwise you see sometimes you can see from our, it's very good, Krishna. You can see that we are not at all smiling. So Mother Yashoda, trying since afternoon to bind Krishna, catch him, tie him and all those things, still Mother Yashoda is smayanti. She is actually smiling. So when we are engaging in the service of Krishna, we should be smiling. That is what Mother Yashoda did. So when we smile, what will happen? Why we should smile? Why should we smile? So Prabhu is saying she was smiling and she was able to focus more on Krishna, meditating on that. Okay, wonderful. So it's very susukum kartum avyo 9.2 Bhagavad Gita, right? Raj Vidya Pavitram idam uttamam pratyaksha yogam dharmam susukham kartum avyam. This devotional service is susukham, is not like हो गया एक बार, today's quota is over, thank you Krishna, I am free now, I can do anything. Susukham kartum avyam. Bhagavad Gita, the devotional service is such a joyful experience. Susukham kartum avyam. And if we are not susukham, that means there is something wrong. We have to introspect ourselves. It's something that we are missing in our practice of Krishna consciousness. And the next sloka is that Somatu Svinna Gayatra. So I highlighted there are two things. What is that? Swamatu. What is Swamatu? What is that actually talking about? Swamatu. No. Parishramam is the hard labor. Swamatu. Swa means Matu, mother. So when we are actually engaging in devotional service, we have three things. The Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching of Achintya Bheda Ved, which has three things. The first thing is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Now here Sambandha. So Mother Yashoda is actually seeing Krishna as her own son. So if you can see, that reminds me one small joke. So there was one landlord, and the landlord has a big palace. And you know what happens, sometimes somebody has some urgent call of nature and they will come, and especially small child, so then he will pass the urine there. So then this big landlord, the owner, saw that. He said that security, please ask that child, go away from that. And then security ran, and then he whisked away that small child who was about to do on his border or the compound or the whatever the thing is. And after that, that landlord's daughter-in-law or daughter, whoever is that, she had a son, and then she said whatever she said, okay, father or whatever she said, can you take my child? And now that child, that's the landowner or the landlord took his grandson. Now he was playing with the grandson, and after some time the grandson did, so he passed that. Now he had no problem, he was very happy. In the first incidence, there was some ordinaries or some child came and he was so angry, whereas in the second incidence, that small child, oh very nice, okay, I will change, all those things. He was happily enjoying that passing of that urine of grandson. What was the difference between these two incidences? Attachment, relationship. So when we are actually practicing Krishna consciousness, we have to have sambandha with Krishna. We have to have relationship with Krishna. Otherwise we are like the child, that some child and passing, oh okay, don't allow him to do that. But our own thing is that no problem, we'll actually, not one, you do 2 times, 3 times. So one need to have a relationship with Krishna. So matum. And the second thing that highlighted is parishramam. Mother Yashoda trying to work from since morning. She is trying to do that. And by the time she bound Krishna was in the evening, 6 o'clock, 5:47, 6:15. Till that she was actually binding Krishna. So we can understand that we have to put hard labor. We cannot actually take break, or of course if there is something required, but the principle is that we have to put parishram, hard effort. Without that, it is very difficult to achieve Krishna, to remember Krishna. So by having relationship with Krishna, by having a smiling face, not having some kind of groany or some mourning face, and then putting hard labor, having a relationship with Krishna, one can definitely, and at the end what happened? You see that because of Mother Yashoda's hard labor, where is the microphone? Yeah, please read, Prabhu, translation.
Because of Mother Mother Yashoda's hard labor, her whole body became covered with perspiration, and the flowers and comb were falling from her hair. When child Krishna saw his mother thus fatigued, he became merciful to her and agreed to be bound.
Agreed to be? Now we want to bind Krishna in our mind. But Krishna is not easy to bind that. Mother Yashoda trying and trying and trying. And when he saw that she was smiling, when he saw there is a relationship, when he saw she is putting hard labor, then Krishna gave her his Krupa Shakti and he allowed her to bind Lord Sri Krishna. Damodhar ki, Mother Yashoda ki jai. Time is also over. Sorry. So we'll conclude with some practical tips that, of course, Sravana Dasha will lead to the Varna Dasha lead to the Varna Dasha will lead to. Very good. Otherwise, 10 minutes back we discussed and रातचा गोंधळ बराच होता. So chanting and hearing. So when we chant and hear and remember Krishna, definitely it will lead to remembrance of Krishna. Next is being grateful in every situation, whether it's a happy situation, whether it's a challenging situation, not so called favorable situation from our life. Always remember Krishna, be grateful, and when we are grateful to Krishna, we will definitely lead to remembrance of Krishna. Otherwise, even if you have thousands and thousands of things in life, but if you do not have, if you have 999 things, and if you do not have one thing, our mind will focus, Krishna, you have all those things, that one thing I do not have, and you will never be satisfied in life, and you will never actually appreciate or being grateful to Krishna. And gratitude is the seed of love. If we are not grateful to Krishna, we cannot have love to Krishna. Gandharvika Giridhari ki jai. So being grateful to Lord Sri Krishna in every situation will definitely lead to remembrance of Krishna. We have to lead, because we discussed that we cannot remember Krishna at the end of life. We cannot study and then you can do some some kind of illegal ways, and you in exam you may get marks, but Krishna's exam you cannot pass. That's why we have to mold our life, make our life such a way that will help us to remember Krishna. Not that live a life, we can have some life where we are not able to, that is not helping us, not encouraging us, that is not inspiring us to remember of Krishna. For example, as you just put a tilak, and when you put a tilak, the other day one devotee was saying that he was in a market, and his market means like full of passion, and somebody saw tilak and he said Hare Krishna to that. So when he is putting tilak, he is remembering or reminding others about Krishna. Imagine you have photos of Krishna in our house. What will happen as soon as you see Krishna? You have books of Krishna. What it will help us to remember Krishna. You have Bhagavad Gita in a house, remembrance of Krishna. But today, instead of Bhagavad Gita, we have our big friend, 56 inch. And then what will remember? We'll remember only TV. Like this. We'll not remember Krishna. So we have to mold our life, starting from morning, chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, doing deity worship, preparing Navadha for Lord Sri Krishna, offering that bhoga to Lord Sri Krishna, honoring that prasad, then serving, engaging in the devotion. Our life should be molded only Krishna conscious way. And if we don't mold that our life, then our life has absolutely srama eva hi kevalam, it has useless labor. So Prabhu was saying this morning in Bhakti Center, he was meditating, when will I give all this shirt and pants, so that I will take this white dhoti and kurta, and then white dhoti kurta become the saffron dhoti kurta, because of that. So that the more we meditate, more we actually make our life such a way that there is only one thing, there is only one purpose of our life. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yathor bhakti adok sajai. Vyavasayatmika buddhir eke he kuru nandana. Only the focus is Krishna. And those we do not have, bahu shaka he anantascha. Right? So the whole purpose of our life, that we mold our life such a way, not only coming on Sunday 5 o'clock here and the remaining 7 days into 24, 144 hours minus 2, 142 hours. There is no any indication in our house about Krishna. Neither we are talking about Krishna, neither we are chanting about Krishna, nor we discussing about Krishna, not we are hearing about Krishna. In what way we will remember Krishna? Only the 2 hours here and remaining 142 hours if you don't remember Krishna. No way, absolutely no way. So we have to have a life such a way that, and of course when we are engaging in the service of Krishna, that too with the smiling, not with the other way. And services also, and we have to have intention why we are doing the services, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, for the pleasure of Krishna. That will definitely lead to remembrance of Krishna. And of course last but not least is the devotee association. When we are together, it actually helps us that we have to remember the purpose of life is Antakale ch mam eva smaran mukta kalevaram ye prayati samad bhavam yati naste yatra samsya. If we remember Krishna at the time of death, definitely we will actually remember. I mean, we practice Krishna, we will remember Krishna at the time of death. So we'll pause here. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is what is all about Krishna Smaranam. We have time for some question or comments. Okay.
Hare Krishna. If devotees have any questions, please raise your hands.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You told about one incident about one person naming 4 children as on the name of Krishna, and Ajamil comparing to that. So I wanted to understand what is the Ajamil was able to do and what that other like person was not able to do, that they had different destinies.
If you flash back Ajamila's life, before he diverted from that, what was he? He was a very wonderful devotee. And he was practicing Krishna consciousness, and some incidents he saw something, what you call that, shorts, what you call the shorts? Short videos or movies. Huh? Reels. He saw somewhere some reels and it got diverted from there. So you can imagine Ajamila did not have the YouTube and all those stuff, but he saw live that reel or short for 2 minutes or 30 seconds and got diverted. But before that, who was he? He was a devotee. Whereas this gentleman, throughout the life, he was talking about business, profit. And then you will remember only profit at the time of that. So the point here is the principle. It's just a story to emphasize, to bring the point that we have to practice life, practice Krishna consciousness throughout the life. Not suddenly you take and then, I mean, you begin from somewhere, but you continue to do that. Then only so whereas this businessman, he did not practice. How can he remember? His only purpose that how to make 2 times, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. So that was the difference. Does that help? But whereas Ajamila was a wonderful devotee, but the small reel and then everything got distracted. You had? Prabhu had. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, when life becomes like a tick-tock or a clockwork of conflicting priorities and managing so many things around, then how do you suggest that in the waking hours we remember Krishna so that even while we are sleeping this thing continues?
So, what is the question, Mataji? How do you remember Krishna? So that is where we saw that how can we come to the dasha of Smaran Dasha? How do we come to Smaran Dasha? Before that there are 2 dashas, where Sravana Dasha, in neophyte stage, if you see the purport of Srila Prabhupada, we continuously hear about Krishna Katha. And the more we hear about Krishna Katha, the more we'll come to the Varna Dasha, and Varna Dasha will lead to the Smaran Dasha. So there is, unfortunately, there is something like magic formula. Then the 11:59 tonight we take, and 11:59 we become a samadhi. If that is the case, all we want to go there. Where is that pharmacy where we get that pill or medicines, and then no, we have to practice. And that is where Srila Prabhupada was asked, Swamiji, how much time will one take to become liberated? Swamiji said in Bhagavatam 9th canto, Khatwang Maharaj got in a moment. But in that one moment, we have to do two things. And what are those two things? We have to get attached to Krishna and we have to get detached from the matter. And it takes some time, and that is where it is a anusilanam, it is a practice. So what is the practice for all of us? So that is why Srila Prabhupada says that regularly Sravanam and Kirtanam. So the more we actually do all those things and engaging in the service of Krishna, as soon as we get opportunity, go to reels. Yes, Prabhu? No. You talk about Krishna, hear about Krishna. You see that how life, you will remember Krishna. And that is how we can do that. So the more we focus on the first two stages, the result is the third stage. Does that help, Mataji? Yes, Prabhu, we already heard that same thing you are telling. Yes.
If we see on YouTube also, if we see about Krishna, hear about that, then reel or short also suggestion will be for Krishna only.
They will prompt because this AI will tell you that. But if you do suddenly something, because our mind is very smart, it starts with Krishna. It starts with Krishna, and after 1 hour, you just see that actually I am somewhere else. So better, if you are somewhere here, there, instead of doing something, that is fine. But if we have so many other avenues, and Prabhupada has given books, Bhagavatam 18 volumes are there, Chaitanya Charitamrita is there, Bhagavad Gita 700 shlokas, 1000 pages that Bhagavad Gita is there. So this is okay now. Suppose you are traveling, you do not have option, you do that. But that's not the ultimate thing. The ultimate is that Sravanam and Kirtanam. So your question is that if you watch YouTube videos and the YouTube videos has the AI back end, it will only prompt what we have done. But it will also prompt what we have read somewhere, and you will be surprised that suddenly one day my friend was talking that he never talked about something, but he was discussing about someone, and what he just discussed while discussing with some friend, and it actually prompted him. So who knows what actually they are hearing. You have experience, Mataji? Mataji is saying yes, he is nodding yes. So we do not know. So they 24/7 that they are hearing. So the more we time will come that we will not have anything. Every moment is actually tracked and monitored. But yes, it could actually prompt, but there is also deviation could happen at any point of time. If the Ajamila had 5,000 years ago, we are not greater than Ajamila at that time. Yes, Prabhu. We'll take the. Yes, Prabhu.
So dhyana means continuous remembrance. Is there like means not strong. Continuous remembrance Krishna is there. Then these other activities is there.
Other
Activities stops when we get in dhyana or Vipassana.
No, it's you are not stopping now. Did you see gopis now? Okay, I will sit at one place and just remember Krishna. It's very natural for them. It's very natural, and that is what Krishna said. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmaram yuddhache. He did not say you pause for 1 hour during the battle and then you focus on me and then after that you again fight. No, he said that is a parallel activity.
Can extend this?
Yeah, so like you do the multitasking, and that will happen. But initially we may not able to. Today we do multitasking. You know how do we do that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We are expert in multitasking in that. But what we have to do? We are engaging in the service of Krishna and remembering Krishna.
Samadhi also means we are in activity also we can remember Krishna.
Why not? Yes.
Then this yoga people say Samadhi means you don't need something. When they go,
that is why we have to come to Bhakti Yoga. Where Prabhupada says that what is Samadhi? Samadhi that you are completely absorbed. Did you see Srila Prabhupada sitting at one place in Vrindavan and meditating on some light or the object of that light or dot or something independent, imaginary virtuals? No. You know what happened? Once one devotee, they came to Vrindavan very first time, and Prabhupada was from Delhi International Airport. They were in a cab and then on the way to Vrindavan, and Prabhupada was like very very grave and seriously thinking. And now this Prabhu who was sharing Srila Prabhupada's early disciples, and he was thinking that now we are on the way to Vrindavan and Prabhupada will now talk about some pastimes of Krishna. And then Prabhupada asked, where are our cement bags? So you can understand Prabhupada was thinking about the practical steps. So one example, and then we'll go to the last question of Prabhu there. So to one devotee, he was thinking that if I come in front of Srila Prabhupada every day and recite shlokas, that will please Prabhupada. So when Prabhupada was like moving out of gate, and this devotee will come and every day he will recite the shlokas very nicely and very loudly, so that Prabhupada will hear that and he will get the appreciation from Prabhupada, or Prabhupada will be pleased. May not be appreciation, but his intention was to please Prabhupada. One day happened, next day morning same thing, when Prabhupada on the way to morning walk, third day thing happened. Prabhupada said that instead of doing all things, why can't you do some practical steps? You understand? So samadhi means is thinking about 24/7, and that is where we say that it's multitasking, not the multitasking that we are expert at, but the multitasking the Brajavasis are expert at, where they are engaging of Krishna. Mother Yashoda is actually doing that, but she is thinking about Krishna and she is singing beautiful bhajan. She doesn't have to refer to the Vaishnava bhajan app and then talk about that. She was actually spontaneously composing the beautiful bhajans and singing that, and that is the samadhi. Yes, Prabhu.
In Iskcon, we are not, we are having Krishna as a master and we are servant. We are in continuous service of Lord Krishna. So that is the only sambandh we are having. Because other like Yashoda, she is considering Krishna as his son, and in previously in YouTube also we see somebody think Krishna as his brother or some sister, some other also there, in Braj, especially in North India.
So, what is the question?
The question is
To have whether
how to
have relationship. Now, isn't there is a servant? There is a relation between Das and Master. Example, Hanumanji. That's a relationship. It's not Das, the servant and master. There is no relationship. Prabhupada was asked, "How do I know what is my eternal position? What is my relationship with Krishna?" Prabhupada says that you begin with Dasya. It is very safe to start with that. So Dasya means is not that we do not have relationship with Krishna. Dasya means we are relationship. Oh my Lord, you are my master and I am your servant. Isn't that a relationship? It's a relationship.
That's the biggest relation.
And it's not that we have to have only father, mother or Vasalya or things. So this is the relation. And Hanumanji has perfect. Hanumanji is when he opened Hanumanji's things, what did we see that? Prabhu Ramchandraji, Mother Sita, Hanuman, Lakshmanji. So Dasya is not something like that. Not on things, but just on the lighter side. It's not that somebody comes and do some service, or in offices we are Dasya and we do not have relation. No. Because what happened, we have some understanding in the material life, we have some experience in the material life, we have read something there, and we take the same thing and apply in the spiritual world. In the material world, when there is a Das and Master, there is no relationship. As if it, but there is one wonderful example of Hanumanji and our dear Lord, Prabhu Ramchandraji. Beautiful. He's always thinking of Lord Ram. Okay, we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. So it was so nice to absorb the presentation here, and we were all listening, and we are able to remember, we are able to learn how to remember. So remembering, I was thinking, is a simple process, but now we are understanding all the intricacies, all the step-by-step processes to keep this remembrance for longer. We discuss about all these things, but in the groups. Okay? Now the activity time. We'll all divide ourselves into small groups. How these groups will be formed? Okay. Before coming here, you have got any calls. You know who was calling you? Who doesn't know who was calling me? Okay, if you don't know who was calling, who called you or invited you for the program, call him back and find out what is his name. Okay? Okay. So, if you are being called by Janaki Mataji or Radharasati Mataji, please assemble into this corner. Okay? And if you have been called by Rushi Prabhu, who is sitting here, if you have been called by Vijayalakshmi Mataji, please assemble here in this corner with Mahayoti Prabhu. If you have been called by Ashutosh Prabhu, or Shailesh Prabhu, Rakesh Oja Prabhu, please assemble into this center area. Okay? And if you have been called by Kavirupa Mataji, please assemble into that last section. And if you have been called by Lokesh, Angik, or if you are not called by anybody else, or if you are first time coming, please join me here in this area. Please come forward. Okay? Let us assemble, and whoever is standing into the alley there, please bring them everybody inside. Whoever is standing there, everybody has to be into the group. Everyone. Let's make a circle here. So whoever is not being called by anybody else, please join me here in this circle. Okay, जो भी बाहर में है सब लोग अंदर आ जाएं. Okay, ठीक है. Okay, what we have to do is here, whatever we have learned. Okay, one more group is left out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. एक और ग्रुप बाकी है ना? होंगे सारे. हाँ एक और. Anybody who is called by Rashmi Mataji or there's those devotees, they also can join this group actually. You can join this group. Okay, so you have to share one point each what you have learned from this seminar. Everybody can share 1 point. So we have a revision here. Okay? Hare Krishna. And we have a time 5 minutes.
Would you like to join some group? Come here. Okay.